There is something unexpected about the Galloway Hoard at every turn. When you get into the vessel, there are so many different and unusual materials, types of objects that we've never seen before, and these open up a whole new world to us.
Even small pieces of textile have details that give us remarkable insights. The woven silk textile has yarns that show that it has an Eastern origin, whereas the complex weave indicates that it was woven in Central Asia or the Eastern Mediterranean, such as Syria or Egypt. This shows that the textile had a very distant origin, and this gives us fascinating ideas of the histories of that textile as it moved from those areas to the west coast of Scotland.
The analysis of the dirt balls gave us the starting point for asking more questions. First of all, we had to ask, why were these dirt balls inside this vessel? What was so special about dirt? And the analysis showed us that it wasn't just any dirt, it had little bits of gold in it, and there are little fragments of bone. So those are clues that we can take with us on our next steps. There's a tradition in medieval Christianity of people bringing back little bits of the shrines and the holy places that they visited. They would get local dirt and they would roll it in the dust that formed in the holy shrines. So the big question that we need to ask about the dirt balls is, where did they come from? And I've been looking for comparisons, and in the Vatican collection in Rome, the early popes of Rome were collecting relics brought from the Holy Land. So can we use soil analysis or chemical analysis to figure out where these dirt balls came from?
This is a black stone. It's quite an enigmatic object because it's in the most beautifully made gold case, which has been decorated with granulation and filigree and shaped really carefully to hold the stone, and then strung up with a silken cord, but it's actually got little clasps that could be undone to take the stone out. And the stone turns out to be a sort of metamorphic rock called a schist, which is very common in many places in Britain. Normally in a casing like this, you'd expect to find a gemstone or a semi-precious stone, so its rarity and its value must be more to do with its function and its associations. So we then looked under the scanning electron microscope, and we could see that there were little streaks, and when we analysed those, we found that there were actually several different types of gold streaked along. So we now do believe that this was a touchstone. Now, a touchstone is a very specific type of stone. It's usually dark and it's usually quite smooth, and it was important in the early medieval period because it was the way in which gold was tested.
I think what we're really trying to understand in our research are the people behind the objects. In the Galloway Hoard, there were all sorts of people from many different areas who were involved in either the production, trade, or use of these items.
We always knew that the Galloway Hoard was something amazing. The range of material that's in there, the organic preservation, the gold, the silver, but also the really unusual items like the dirt balls. Relics of ancient empires and faraway places suggest a deeper history, with connections across Europe and beyond into Asia. Family heirlooms and objects of female power and knowledge create a much richer story, taking us beyond any stereotype of a Viking hoard. At the end of 5 years of research, we can look at each individual element in the hoard, and we can start to put together the pieces in the puzzle in order to understand the bigger picture. But with so many unprecedented discoveries, this hoard is transforming our understanding of the Viking Age. This has given us a glimpse of a more interconnected medieval world than we ever expected, and Scotland's place within it.